In the last 18 years working at Iveco, we've had the privilege and the pleasure to win numerous environmental justice campaigns across Chicago. As was mentioned, from all the amazing people in this room who helped close down the Crawford and Fisk coal power plant, to the winning of a 23-acre park in Little Village after 20 years, to the successful passage and inclusion of EJ provisions and more in the Future Energy Jobs Act that passed 1 year ago in Springfield this month. These victories were due to the organizing with community and youth leaders in Little Village and across the city and the nation. It is our communities that have been fighting and winning in environmental justice, public health, and climate victories. What have these victories taught us? In Chicago, the Midwest, and nationally, that while policy changes, research, and other strategies are vital, it is organizing with frontline leaders and youth of color that is absolutely crucial to any sincere movement to address the climate crisis.
Sitting in the center of it, and we are surrounded by all types of pollution.
We are the only section of Chicago that has mountains, but they're not really mountains, there are landfills.
Big corporations are getting away with just paying fines of $55,000, like USS Lead got in 1985, $55,000 fine for contaminating the West Calumet River. That river empties out into a lake. What water do we drink?
Trench work. Mama told me not to sell work. Mama 17, same color t-shirt, white. Mama told me not to sell work. Mama 17, same color t-shirt. Yeah, weapon with a pocket full of cottage. Keep on slapping, chopper, ain't that bitch a nigga.
There's no police station there. There's no ambulance there. The closest hospital is on 111th House, which is 29 blocks away. One grocery store. 3 liquor stores. Food deserts to the teeth.
The side that I first lived on was closer to my middle school, so I was really close to like the Nabisco company. But that was what the food desert was. Like we had liquor stores. Like I knew where all the liquor stores were, but in those liquor stores they would like sell foods that like kids could cook. So like hot dogs, cereal, Twinkies, a lot of junk food. It was just like it was food, but it wasn't like gonna prolong your life.
This is an appropriate time for me to be talking about the legacy of environmental justice in Chicago. From Hazel Johnson, the mother of our movement, to her daughter Cheryl Johnson, who continues the legacy in the fight at People for Community Recovery, to Naomi Davis of Blacks and Greens, to the Southeast Environmental Task Force and the Coalition to Ban Pet Coke, and lastly, to our brother Bryant Williams, whose birthday was yesterday, and was the mastermind behind the county's demolition debris diversion ordinance.
Why I move, I'm conscious hip to my heart.
Love me, love me, love me. Do you love me, love me, lovely? Do you love me, love me, love me? Love me, love me, love me. Like these tainted winds aren't intentional, as if black and brown folks could swallow smog whole and pick pollution from their teeth. How can you care about the environment but not the folks in it? You see, Flint was just the tip of the iceberg, as a tsunami of water quenches thirst, but at the cost of lives. America's trying to go green without going black, without going conscious, without holding themselves accountable. You see, we are resilient but still human, with heartbeats that beat just like yours. A tree can't be planted and survive near a factory, so how the hell can we think a family could? We can't breathe. We can't breathe. We can't. Love me, love me, love me. Love me, love me, love me. Do you love me, love me, love me? Love me, love me, love me.
Together with the Environmental Justice Network, we know that frontline communities are the experts and we have the solutions to address the climate crisis. We know it's about what we can do to cool the planet. We know that. But as frontline leaders, we also know it's about why we allow piles of manganese in our communities with no regard for human health and the environment. It's in our ability to encourage more logistics, more trucks, more rail yards, and more freight, without regard for the increase in diesel emissions and what this means to communities already facing legacies of environmental degradation and struggling to breathe. It is the ability to exclude community voice in what happens in our industrial corridors. Industrial corridors that allow not just corporations and industrial players to do as they see fit with no regard for health of our schools, our homes, and our communities that are right next door, but the ability to build more institutions like policing academies that continue the legacy of industrial corridors of exploiting the lives of Black and brown bodies for profit.
I'm from 3 generations of family members born with asthma. I'm from Allgill Gardens on 134th in Corliss, where waste management burns trash on a daily basis. See these oxygen tubes in my nose? My mother has 1 lung and an enlarged heart, and it's generational because we all can't breathe.
The challenge for us here in Chicago is to sincerely and deeply engage with frontline community leadership, whose issues are these issues. It is to listen to frontline communities. It is to learn from frontline communities, and it is to resource frontline communities, EJ communities, and their leaders. Our solutions must be intergenerational. They must be intersectional and lift up and center those affected the most and marginalized. We must honor the progress and principles set before us through the 17 principles of environmental justice and honor the Jemez principles for democratic organizing. We must recognize the shortcomings of previous climate efforts, understand the need for intersectionality, come to communities correct, and in bringing new voices to the discussion, we must continue to support the stages being set to be inclusive and aligned with frontline communities, and grow the Chicago Agreement on Climate and Community. And only through these lenses will we solve our most urgent problems.